So today, although we talked a little bit about these verses before, but I will start from them, verses 3 to 7. And then we'll see their symmetrical group of verses towards the end, 22 to 26. Okay, so هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا مع إيمانهم. This is the product that Quran is talking about. They have this serenity, this internal peace. But I want you to see that Allah is the one who has bestowed that inner peace upon the hearts of the believers. هو الذي أنزل السكينة. Everything what is good is always from Allah. Which means what? That Allah has a lot to offer. Continue the journey. You see, it's not ignoring what you are doing, but so that you will not become a prisoner of what you have done. Always al-qibla, always the goal should dictate your actions. So if you believe that Allah is the one who bestowed this serenity, definitely they did their job of listening, understanding, acting, and everything. And the response from Allah to give them this inner peace. And see, لِيَزْدَادُوا إِيمَانًا مَعَ. You see the growth? You see? لِيَزْدَادُوا إِيمَانًا مَعَ إِيمَانِهِمْ. It's a journey, ongoing journey. If you put for yourself a goal that is easily realized, you reach it, and then you start feeling the depression because you have realized it. You want to have a car, you buy that car, and oh my God, so what happened to me? Why I was so happy before, and then when I had it, this happiness is gone because it was realized. But if you believe in Allah, the Qibla that is not going to be realized, your journey will be ongoing. I want you to see this phrase in the middle of that verse. وَلِلَّهِ جُنُودُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. This is I mean, I don't think all commentators were able to see it. Okay. The moment Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about his own soldiers in the heavens and earth, you immediately know who is going to prevail. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So who prevailed? Who got the support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
The one who has Iman.
You see it. So, and that, not only this, they got the victory and the liberation of Mecca and everything that unfold afterwards. Okay, not only in this dunya, but also in al-akhirah. لِيُدْخِلَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ جَنَّاتٍ. This is the outcome. This la at the beginning is telling us about the outcome. لِيُدْخِلَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. We call it the la of the destination, or what is coming next. What is coming next is not only for the males, but also for the females. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will mention the females here? This is a location of a battle. This is the battlefield. Do I need like a lot of narratives to tell me about the role of women, even in these very challenging situations? So the believers, the female believers, were there, supporting the men, caring for the men, taking care of their wounds. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only that. Do you want to ignore their role when they lose a son or a husband or a father or a relative? You don't want them to be in the equation? Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So they have a role or they don't?
I do.
So now why are we today doubting and questioning certain roles for our sisters and mothers and daughters on the basis that they are women or females, with the impression that they are weaker? You see what I mean? And this is supported also. I told you about this before, but it is worth mentioning it again. At the end of Surah Al-Imran, number 3, please, Shakil. The last page, verse number 195. Yes. Read it with me, and you tell me if there is something that women cannot do. فاستجاب لهم ربهم أني لا أضيع عمل عامل منكم من ذكر أو أنثى. Underline this, males or females. So Quran here in this verse talking about both genders. بعضكم من بعض. One is from the other. Do not separate. You can distinguish. A male is not like a female. It's not identical, but don't separate among them and say this is for males and this is for females. Okay? بعضكم من بعض. See, فالذين هاجروا. Underline هاجروا. Migrated. And you know how difficult it is. أخرجوا من ديارهم. They were kicked from their houses and their towns. وأوذوا في سبيلي. They were harmed in my way, the way of Allah. وقاتلوا. Fought. وقتلوا. They were also killed. Can you tell me that a woman cannot be a judge, or cannot be an imam, or cannot be a president, or cannot be a prime minister? How many times you heard this verse being cited talking about the role of women?
Not often.
So Nobody knows about. They read it. Wallahi, there are lot. We were young when we really like learned this verse by heart, and you hear it all the time in the prayers by the imams, but nobody wants to see it.
And this role they are talking, this ayah is talking about is equal.
Yes, equal,
There is
totally equal. Nothing.
There is no listen.
Yes. No sliver of this. Again, because Quran is not separating.
Yeah.
Okay. But at the same time, Quran acknowledges that a man is not a woman and a woman is not a man.
Wow,
You see?
Dr. Khair, this
Yes.
sounds like feminism at its best in Islam, you know.
Can you see, but you see, you can see it for yourself.
Yeah.
If you approach Quran with a vision,
Yeah.
you will see it. It's not just language, but language under the control of the vision, not the other way around. I want you to see how Quran, okay, even if you don't know the original language, but you can see for yourself.
I think that's where the decline of civilization started. With in a lot of the example that Brother Yusuf was talking about, that's what happened too. Like women were marginalized in those cultures too. And then we see the same way, because whenever you do that kind of stuff, you start your decline into, we cannot have equalized civilized society. When you start with women, you start with underprivileged people, and that's what the decline start.
Yep. So in other words, we are not twisting anything.
No.
It is very clear, explicit. I am not like trying like to make some type of meaning out of this. I mean, like twisting things. No. There is nothing to be twisted. It is straightforward. Now, like this verse, لِيُدْخِلَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. We know the context of the surah. And this is how basically we teach. How do you teach? What is the best way to relay the information to your students? You repeat over and over in different ways. Repetition. But the second interesting way is contextualizing. When you put it in a context, like if I discuss like an advanced idea and it is very difficult for people to get it, give them like in medicine, we give them a case to contextualize what I am talking about. And then they get it and they retain it.
Yeah, we hear it from all the time, like rephrase. Sometimes when
reframe it.
Rephrase it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Framing. Yes. Put it in a context. And then when you start to apply, okay, you teach it to somebody else. You apply it like in your practice. How do we remember all these names and all these medications? If a medication you have not really used it for, you forgot about it. No question about it. You have to refresh your memory if you have not seen a case for a long time, okay, or a disease for a long time. You refresh your memory because you forgot.
And I think in the comes to Quran, it's restating or rephrasing some of those same concepts too
Yeah,
from different angles. So people have different
exactly.
understanding. So
Exactly.
trying to reach to you in a different direction.
Yes.
If it doesn't work one
Yes.
direction, let's
Yes.
approach it this way so you understand it because
And
you have more
yeah,
context in certain things.
yes. And it is really our job, okay,
Mhm.
to understand. For example, sometimes you see the same story being repeated. It's not mere the repetition,
No,
but every time you have to ask yourself, what is the role of that story in the context of the surah
exactly.
where it appears? It's sometimes easy, sometimes it is more difficult, sometimes it requires more digging, sometimes you need to ask, you make conversations, you go and read more. So it's the project for life.
Yeah.
You see, so ليدخل المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ويكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وكان ذلك عند الله فوزا عظيما. This is the greatest triumph. Okay, that is really the peak, if you like. Okay, this is what you are reaping after all what you have really harvested and invested really in this life. You can see the continuity, okay, without separation between this life and the next one. Now, on the other hand, what do you see? Those who were defeated. ويعذب المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات. They were punished. And you can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again, men and women, not only the al-mushrikeen with the disease of shirk, but those with the disease of nifaq, which is even worse. This is why they came first. Because al-munafiqeen, they were always standing on the side, watching. Who is really who is having the upper hand? And in this context, where do you think the al-munafiqeen, the hypocrites or the conspirators, what was their impression? Who is going to prevail? The 1400, 1500 with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Hudaybiyah, or the 10,000 who can be mobilized from Mecca, or even more? Definitely they saw that this is really going, Muhammad will be defeated. And this is why they did not come out with him. الظانين بالله ظن السوء. They were really thinking bad about what Allah can do.
I have a question, brother.
Yes, please.
How come we come up like the woman, the second class, the person in our culture?
Yeah.
Because how do they come up this way? If it's 1500 years, we're reading the same thing. Nobody changed anything.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And what's the biggest failure over here? Any idea?
Yeah. I would say, if we go back to the pre-Islamic, okay, conditions, and we have seen, okay, how women were viewed, and at least in that society where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam appeared. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all the close and the distant, okay, acknowledges and testify to the great job that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did to to make really a difference, a huge difference between, and you can see it like moving from the state of women being buried, I mean, the girls being buried alive, okay, after they are born, to the state where you see a lady representing women in the society arguing with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. No one can deny this trajectory. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, so I want you to see that important trajectory. Again, I am not talking, philosophy or theory here. I am talking what Quran told us, okay? That they, وَإِذَا بُشِّرَ أَحَدُهُمْ بِالْأُنْثَى ظَلَّ وَجْهُهُ مُسْوَدًّا وَهُوَ كَظِيمٌ أَيُمْسِكُهُ عَلَى هُنٍ أَمْ يَدُسُّهُ فِي التُّرَابِ. Bury them. Can you imagine that this is the state, how women were viewed in that in that society? Now to move the status of women to be able like to sit face to face with Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, not on Zoom, face to face, okay, and argue with him about a very important custom and tradition at that time. And Quran will come down siding with the woman. And we have a surah with her, titled after her, Al-Mujadila. Okay?
Shows how much they were uplifted.
What?
They were uplifted.
Exactly. Again,
the women were uplifted.
Yes. But I want you to see the gap that was bridged, right, from viewed as less than zero, okay, buried after being born, to be able like to argue with Muhammad. Who is Muhammad? You are talking about Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, not an ordinary leader, not even an ordinary prophet. He is the prophet at the apogee, at the peak of a prophecy. Khatamun Nabiyyin. There is no one after him. You see?
Many years that we pull up the woman at a certain level.
Yeah.
Still there are people. I thought it might be happen that people marrying more than one or two women, and maybe can be that still the woman cannot uprise all the way in the same level that were men. Yeah. Because of that when the surah is when you read, you can marry to 4 men, but if you read the whole things and the chapter is they stay only one.
Exactly. So we lost that vision. You see, now we are not seeing things the same way Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us to see it through Quran. Okay, we started regressing back. Okay, because we have if we are stronger, if we are like in charge, if we have people like who can act as our own servants, okay, not as our equal. Oh, there are people who like that. And instead of people standing up like to fight against this trend, okay, it continued, okay, and with time, unfortunately, we regress to situations worse than when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam started, especially when Muslims started really like to interface with other cultures where the status of women were definitely more advanced. At least they were not buried alive. Okay. Now, instead of saying, okay, I am meeting a new culture where the status of the woman is at this level, let me start from that level. What happened? We pushed them down. instead of continuing that process, on that trajectory forward, we start going back and regressing. And even those who gained, okay, for different reasons, a status of that level, it was lost. And until we reached a situation, okay, women are put in between two fires, either to be a true Muslim, but you have to lose your personality. You have no opinion. You cannot lead. You cannot suggest. You cannot do this and you cannot do that. If you enter the masjid, you have to enter from a different door. If you want really like I mean, why a family will be together in their car the moment they come to do you know what is the name of al-masjid? The other name for al-masjid? We say al-masjid al-jami'.
Is meeting area.
Which that will bring people together.
Yep.
What happened to us? The men go in one direction, the women go in another direction, the children go in a different direction. Is it jami'? It has become the divider.
So when you go to Mecca, we're all together.
You see, this is the model. And there were attempts to stop that model, but they could not, because it is embedded. It is entrenched. Nobody could was able to change it.
Well, I was reading in the Islamic history, and our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you first Medina, they all get prayed together with the woman and man.
I'm telling you, they were able to do it in Masjid, the Prophet of the Prophet in Medina, but they could not do it in Mecca. But they want, if they are able, they will do it. I can assure you. But because it has socially becoming entrenched, you cannot change something that has been socially entrenched in this way. 5 times every day, people are praying, not one per month or a year. Imagine like that we have to go there only during pilgrimage day. It was easy for them to make the division or the separation. But it is done every day 5 times, and you can, I mean, shoulder to shoulder. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
In Mecca.
In Mecca.
Side by side.
Yes, yes. And this is why even at IFN, at one time, there were people trying like to make another door. And they were discussing this in one of these assemblies. And I was not there. But several people stood up and said, no, we have learned from Dr. Khayr and Dr. Asi that the model is Mecca, not your model.
I remember that. Yes.
You remember that? Is that right?
Yes, I do. Very much.
Mostly sometimes women who will stand up. You see that this is I'm bringing these examples to tell you that it is unfortunate, okay, that I mean it is like a victory for some men, like to be in charge and to have people around them, like I mean just listening, ordering them and listening to them and giving them orders. I mean, do this and don't do that. Don't I mean, you see, I mean, it's very.
I mean, we are part of the problem too.
And honestly, for me, the challenge, I always have been telling my sisters, you are going to. I cannot do it for you. I can support
it.
Yes, exactly. As men, we can support it. But if it were not for these courageous women in our community to stand up and say, no, we are equal.
I think that this one was some kind of this one, most like economical freedom for women. and they might get pushed back. They cannot step up. Hey, I'm the part of this community. I want to, wherever you have it, I gotta get same thing. You cannot say that one because they don't have no freedom from them economically, or they're gonna lose their family. If
Yes, I mean, there are a lot of consequences to that. No question about it. And this is why, unfortunately, this is why what I said, like women are in our communities are put between two fires, either to be a true Muslim, but you lose your personality, or you want to if you want to like win your personality, okay, then you don't have to be a Muslim, or like a practicing Muslim, whatever you want to call it. You see what I mean?
Dr. Khayr,
yes, please.
I want to make a comment here. So,
please,
you know, I work with men all the time, as you know, that's my profession.
Yes.
And my partners, I have 5, 6 male partners. And I remember many years ago, they asked me, because it was Ramadan and I was fasting, and they go, oh, you still practice Islam? And like, they didn't even think about that I'm a Muslim, because I don't wear a hijab all the time. And they said, oh, you are from the religion which suppresses women. How did you ever get to be, where you are now? And so I think we are promoting this behavior among our other people of other faith also, when we don't really practice what we, so like in Ramadan, I fast, or I'll go and pray in my office. And I think it has changed them a little bit, but it's extremely hard to do this in our own culture though, because I feel like they'll listen to me more, my partners, than people who are entrenched in our mosques, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, wallahi, I mean, it's not really speaking really about myself, but I swear to God, there are, I mean, between the university and the hospital, believe me, they when they come together, wallahi, they used to say, we wish we have more like Walid. Do you know why? Because they know how much I am respectful of all the people, and I am not really like behaving like as if I am afraid or intimidated, or you see what I mean? And they know who am I. I mean, like in terms of I mean, it doesn't need a lot to know that I am coming from a different culture. I am an Arab. I am a Muslim. I am. You see what I mean? But it's still okay. I mean, you can make a difference. Okay, when you are really behaving in a way not to show that you are better than others. Okay, when you behave, you said that you work with a lot of men around you. The same thing, we work with women all around us. But when they see the way you respect them, the way you behave with them, the way you listen to them, the way you discuss things with them, I'm telling you, I mean, these people are always impressed. And they say, oh my God, they immediately, it changes really the image.
That's right.
This stereotyping will go away.
Right.
And they will come to you and they tell you, oh, I have this trainee from this. Oh my God, he is so good. I mean, like, not only because of their academic performance, but also because of their demeanor and their behavior, their ethical conduct.
And body language.
Yeah, everything, I mean, matters in these situations. So no question that our women, our girls, they need good models, okay? And again, we need to find ways how to help them to avoid these two fires. We don't want them to choose between only these two situations. there is a better situation where they can be practicing Muslims, but with a strong personality, with a voice, with emotions that are respected, with ideas that are heard all the time, to be seen, acknowledged all the time.
You know what make me
Not to
upset?
say in the shadow, yes.
What make me upset and amazed, and I mean, I have a strange feeling. If I go back home, I cannot change every one of them because it's a culture. It's a very strong culture. So I have to tend to do certain things what they are doing, not to, put myself in trouble. But in a society like a free society where they encourage, if we really adopt true Islamic, what we are talking about, not beyond the limits, but true Islamic according to the Quran, we behave in this society, they would really appreciate, and
Exactly. You make a difference.
There is possibility they would appreciate it so much. They would say, hey, wait a minute, we were wrong, you guys are right, honestly. But surprisingly,
they see in you a new model, because a lot of people are searching. But when they see these unfortunate, really bad examples, add to that what all these portrays from the media and everything, it becomes our job becomes even more difficult. Yeah, you see, and we become more responsible of how we can really bring a new approach, okay, a new vision, and then you will see that our girls will not be afraid or intimidated or like embarrassed, okay, of on the contrary, they and as you know, people here, they like people who stick to their beliefs, okay, as long as it's not really making others less.
Yeah, disrespecting others.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Rubina, go ahead.
Yeah. So, like for me also, I am in academia past 20 years, and I feel so respected. I feel my self-esteem is at the highest when I enter at my workplace. The men, the women, the boys.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, and I'm able to give back to my community so much, going by my professional background. But sadly, at my mosque, I had the worst experiences. I was serving as a volunteer, but now it is so difficult for me to just go back and think what I did for my community and what I got back from them. So, like it is very sad that Quran is explaining very clearly the gender roles, and the respect of women, but sadly it is just the opposite. And whereas you go in the mainstreaming, we feel as though these people, they respect women so much. They, in the mainstreaming society, and if they know that you're a Muslim woman, they learn more about you, they respect you, they try to accommodate you. And it is very humbling experience. I just did small volunteering work at my workplace. They send me the greeting card, they send me the gift card and all. So I was very surprised. Oh my God, I just worked in a committee for 3 months, and this is how they're acknowledging my contribution. And whereas at IFN, I worked 15 years probably. So likewise, it is very.
Yeah. I mean, I always use this really example also from our own community. Dr. Fatima Basha, all of you know her, okay? I don't think our people, I mean, in our community, I don't know, they know, I don't think they know that she is the only woman in Abbott before it became Abvi, okay? The only woman who has her picture in the hallways. You know why? Because of the so many patents she had. This family, you know, it's very humble, very modest. They don't talk about themselves. But unfortunately, instead of using these models to encourage, I mean, can you imagine, okay, telling Fatima or any one of you, our sisters, oh, you cannot come through this door. You have to go from the back door. Why? Because I am a woman. And Abbott or Abdi, they are welcomed with open arms. I'm telling you, she is the only woman, at least at the time when I knew about it, she was the only woman who has a picture in the hallways among the greatest achievers.
They
are celebrating her there.
Exactly, but I'm sorry.
We are degrading here in our community.
Unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
But this is where we have to stand up and tell these people, stop what you are talking about.
Yeah,
our women are not hurt when they are coming through the same door, like their brothers.
But Dr. Our girls, you know,
yes.
like young girls, how's it impact?
If we look at the household on the society, this issue is persisted because lack of education. If we educate our men and women, you don't see it. Highly educated people will have this kind of relationship. I think the bottom line is the women, they need to be educated to know their rights, and the men need to be educated to know that how the other people have rights on the society itself.
Yep.
And at least they should be educated as Islamic knowledge, at least if they don't have any other professional.
Yeah, Brother Nizar, I mean, this is really the problem, is that, like, what we have to ask ourselves, what type of education, okay, what type of Islamic education we are offering really to our new generation. Okay, it is if it is happening like what Brother Yusuf is talking about, when you go back home and you see things being done, okay, I mean, you may be a little lenient, okay, not to say that they are right, but at least it's compatible with the whole culture. But here, to apply these things, it will be disastrous. I mean, okay, if you do not believe me, look at the consequences. Where is the younger?
Like we lost Dr. Walid.
Yeah.
Generation and hello.
Yeah, your connection was disconnected.
What I am saying that, I mean, we lost the newer generation not because for no reason, because they reach a point what they hear is not really compatible with the simple things that they do in this life. So they will say, I am not going to listen to this crap. I am not going to come, I mean, and being insulted in my own intelligence. But when you talk to them at their level and you try to elevate them, to lift them up, they will tell you, oh my God, you are inspiring me. You are making me think. Not making me like worthless, unfortunately. And so they decide not to come back.
Yeah. Brother Mustafa, you were saying something?
No, just, can you hear me?
Yes.
Just to add to what Dr. Khayr said about Sister Fatima, I know I was there. She was actively involved in designing and building the mosque. She was the first beneficiary. There were 5 or 6 of us men, and she was the only woman who led us, who had faith in what she was doing, and she made us build the mosque. Alhamdulillah. So kudos to her.
It's good that you mentioned this, because I clearly remember the guy from the village, I think, or from the county, the guy from the county with whom they were doing the negotiations, and you know who was really leading the conversation? She was leading the conversation, and he will say, where is this lady, the smart lady who was really, I swear to God, this is how, I mean, and Fatima was herself. They did not change anything. The same way you see her around, she went to that guy, okay? And she came out. I mean, they were convinced with everything. I'm telling you, I mean, this guy, I mean, he was amazed. This is what should make us proud. And I think she changed their image. They really say, if this is the type of people who are talking to us, who are going to build the masjid, we are not afraid. And you remember that happened in 2004, which means after 2001.
Yeah.
And you know how difficult it was at that time to convince people that, oh, a group of a Muslim community in Lake County wants to build the first masjid.
Right.
Muzaffar
very challenging. Very challenging.
Can testify to that because he lived through it. Is that right?
And I think one of that, the reason, the way we had our management and the trustees, we got that easily, the permission from the village to build the mosque. If we would have tried to do it today, it wouldn't have happened.
You are right. You are right.
Yeah.
You are right. They will not. I mean, they say, "Oh no, go somewhere else." So we are not going to allow you.
But unfortunately, Dr. Khair, this is what I mentioned when I was doing the treasury job or whatever. I said every year in every major meeting, we have to discuss the achievements, what you are talking about, like Dr. Basha, Dr. Basha and there are so many at that time. They played a very important role, and because of them, we are what we are right now. But how many people know about them? No, nobody knows, because they don't even talk about. They kicked them out. One by one, they kicked them out.
They were marginalized, yes, unfortunately.
Yeah. So that's where we stand. It is so unfortunate. Either we stand up, to these people and suffer and, just continue what we are doing. But sometimes it's very difficult, that's the issue. I mentioned this 2-3 times, and then I got mad and I said, I'm not going to be part of this thing. You guys are, and because I saw their behavior towards those folks. I remember, I'm not going to say anything about it. But
but I mean, everybody knows. Yeah, I mean, so unfortunately, yeah. Anyways, so again, I mean, I think the message, I mean.
Can I say something here?
Please go ahead.
So, I know all my brothers mentioned about how they were contributing to IFN and all that. But lastly, like, we have to learn and we have to accept this is our society. This is what we represent is, and even if someday some things are frustrating, we have to take a step back, but do not quit. Everybody, if we have learned something better, let's keep moving forward and give our positive input to make this society better.
Exactly. This is why, if you notice, like I have been saying, my community, our community, this is a continuous, if you like it or not, it is our community, and we continue to be responsible. And again, if we see something good, we have to support it. If we see something that needs to be adjusted, we should really do our best, and we are all responsible for that, no matter how difficult it is or it's going really to be. But again, no one has really the right to abandon, okay, the community, because I mean, honestly, we need each other. No question about it.
It's
Okay.
not, yeah, we should not think they or me or I.
Yeah. And
Us.
otherwise we will fall into the same problem. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we are fighting that logic. Us and them, we are fighting that logic. Okay. We don't believe in it. Okay. And we should really, this is why I am bringing these examples, okay, from the community, okay, and how they really were very helpful, okay, and alhamdulillah, till today we have one door. I mean, for both men and women, okay. So it did not come easy, okay, and again, I honestly give the credit to our sisters, not to our brothers, and particular. No question that the brothers were very supportive, but eventually, okay, I mean, we need to rely on our efforts, voice, time, resources, okay, in order really like to achieve what really we want. So you can see again these verses, okay, like 4 to 7, okay, and so عليهم دائرة السوء وغضب الله عليهم. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condemned them, rejected them, kicked them out of his mercy. وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ جَهَنَّمَ وَسَاءَتْ مَصِيرًا. So everything, okay, again, like we saw with the companions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, men and women, what was their outcome in this life and in the hereafter, and the same thing. They similarly we see the consequences, okay, for those who wanted to obstruct the message, who just wanted really to destroy really the message and the messenger, and all those who followed him. They had to face a very bad, I mean, consequences in this life and in the hereafter. And you can see how the next verse support what we were saying. Again, وَلِلَّهِ جُنُودُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَزِيزًا حَكِيمًا. Okay, and in particular here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described himself as Aziz, the one who will not, the one who is not defeated, strong and mighty, that he will not be defeated. And he is the one who made the believers prevail and defeated al-munafiqeen, al-munafiqat, al-mushrikeen, wal-mushrikat. So again, everything happened opposite to what they were wishing. They were wishing the believers to be destroyed by the oligarchy and of Mecca and its elites. Okay, they see that everything happened opposite to that. عليهم دائرة السوء. So the evil will encompass them from all sides. دائرة. عليهم دائرة السوء. Beautiful. You see, as if they become engulfed by all bad things. They wished bad things to, and they thought of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the wrong way. So all the bad things engulfed them. عليهم دائرة السوء وغضب الله عليهم وأعد لهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا ولله جنود السماوات والأرض. Again, to Allah belong all the soldiers in the heavens and earth, all the forces it means. Okay, and all these forces were geared towards the help and the assistance of the believers, men and women, facing men and women who have the disease of shirk and the disease of nifaq, or hypocrisy and conspiracy. Now, I don't think we have the time, but I want you to read the verses number 22 to 26, and I want you to see, okay, how these verses complement the verses that we discussed today, and even from the language, okay, itself, you can see that these verses are really connected with each other, okay, to bring before us a very clear vision, okay, or who are these people, Muhammad Rasulullah walladhina ma'ah, in action. The last verse like gave us the methodology, gave us the trajectory itself, okay, but the other verses will tell us exactly what they were really doing, okay, and again in action, okay, that and what does it really mean, okay, to have this peace and serenity, okay, in juxtaposition, if you like, to the concepts derived from al-Jahiliyyah. Again, I want you to see the contrast, okay, and to see the difference in quality between those who really wanted to go peacefully and pray in Mecca and do the Umrah, the smaller Hajj, if you like, okay, or the shorter Hajj, if you like, and the people who basically stood in their way, obstructed their way, and what was really behind the behavior of this oligarchy in Mecca and its really elites. This is what I want you to see, and next time we will discuss that together, and you will see it for yourself, this important really distinction, and then you can understand why, okay, why we have seen that outcome. It did not come for no reason. No. There is a reason behind that outcome. Okay, because if there was a different outcome, it means that there is a problem in that people. Okay, that we have to adjust. Okay, as you remember, the believers, and Muhammad ﷺ was among them. They were defeated in Uhud, but they learned from that lesson. And they learned that victory does not come easily. That doesn't come like just because you have a badge on your chest saying that I am a Muslim, therefore I have to be to prevail. Okay, and that no, there should be something more than that. Okay, and so this is what we are really going to see, inshallah, together.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.